Full field, but very interesting race. A lot came out of that one, Michael. There's a lot of tales in that story, from that race.
Yeah, and as we said, small field, but very quick. And any of them could have been fighting for a spot in that A race. Like we said with the men's B as well, there's justifications for a handful of those guys to be knocking on the door and getting a spot in that men's A, which is another great thing about this graded system as well.
Yep.
Enter your times and see where you sit on each of those races.
Yeah, the
keep
good thing for
improving.
Robinson now, she's going to be looked at for all the races. When she enters now, people know who she is. When she first entered milers earlier this season, I knew she'd run cross, but I hadn't seen her run track, and she just bursts out of the box.
Yeah, so you see a bit of the story behind the athletes as well as just the time on the paper.
All right, we've got another race up, the men's D15. Who's our field?
We do. With hip number 1, we have Ben Collins of Knox. Hip number 2, Matthew Sostarek of Essendon. Hip number 3, Tom Forster of St Kevin's. Hip number 4, Fred Leeton, the older brother of Bart, who broke the under-14 Victorian record earlier tonight. Hip number 5, Ethan Grills of Geelong Guild. Hip number 6, Raymond Jansen of Athletics Nunawading. Hip number 7, Alistair Strutt of... he's an invitational athlete. Hip number 8, Mitchell Wilson, invitational. Hip number 9, Scott Benedict, invitational. Hip number 10, Mark Stodden of Richmond. And hip number 11, Harvey Anderson of Knox.
All right, we've got 2 pacemakers. Bailey Morel, 1, Chal Louis out front. You can see Ethan Grills just sitting to the outside there in the Geelong Guild uniform. Archie Caldo, I'll say it, one of my favourites. Archie Caldo, just sitting midfield.
You can play favourites, that's all right.
Not supposed to have favourite children, but I have some favourite runners out there, and Archie's
not that Archie's your child.
Yeah. Could be my grandchild, actually. Anyway, let's keep moving because Bailey Morell's doing a good job out there. Looks like Louis sitting to the outside. Grills, prominent. That's Sostarek there in the Essendon uniform. Caldo not looking sharp tonight. Maybe I've mozzed him. So 4:06 is his PB. We saw him win the Hillart 1500 last week at the
Track
MTC.
Classic.
In around the 4:06. So I think he was just off his PB there.
Okay, so he's got recent form, but you say maybe tonight's not his night. But you also said Lyndon Hall wouldn't break the record in the last couple hundred.
I said Amy Robbins, no one would break fifth or break.
You wrote off Wolfgang early on as well, and you got a 3-second PB, so we won't trust what you're saying as far as...
territory. But anyway, Marchal Louis going nicely. Okay,
Fred Leeton sitting in 4th position. Who was that?
Grills next.
Grills. So it is a bit of... everyone's still in touch with each other, which isn't the worst position for a few of these athletes to be in. Yeah, the pace is decent. It's not a pack,
210 at the 800, so 65s.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to be right up on someone's heels to kind of get dragged along. As long as you've got someone within a bit of sight of you, it can help so much in dragging you along for a PB. And as the pacemakers split off, Leeton does lead the way.
But that's actually Jansen, so my apologies if Archie's listening in. He's not running this one. He's already run a lot this season. So it's Jansen who has had a good season, actually, in the Waverley uniform. Very similar to Wendouree. But Leeton looking good.
Leeton, Sostarek Collins just goes up on Leeton's shoulder and he's looking even better.
Yeah. Collins has been really strong too, and I like watching this guy because, he's always, as you saw, always near the front. And when the bell goes, he just goes to another level. So Starek's still looking okay. He's the taller figure in the Essendon uniform. Leeton just looking like he's struggling a little bit. Collins looks strong.
Yeah, the head's sort of bobbing from side to side. He's grimacing there.
To move along the outside as well. But Collins is already out to about 15 metres.
And his gaze is about 20 metres in front of him. He's
so
just
moves into second.
120, 130 metres to go. Now there's a real gap. He'd be looking to close in about 15 seconds.
So 4:02 is his best. I reckon we might get a sub-4 here.
Maybe thereabouts. Even for the likes of Leeton, 4:05 he's chasing, and he's closing fast. Oh, 4
just
on the
missed
dot,
it,
I'd say.
Collins.
4:03, 3-second PB for Leighton,
so
2-second PB for Sestaric.
Right. Forster's through as well. That'll be a good run.
Forster would have, that would have been impressive from Forster. Pretty much spot on a PB for Forster.
Yeah. That's the men's D 1500. So
Hey,
once again, we're seeing times around the 4 minutes being run in D races. So
I was just going to say the standard of all of the races. When you look at your, C, D, E races, it's quite unreal.